GoldenEye with Mario characters. I'm very, 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 very excited about this. It's not cool, man. Finish your game. And this one has a secret. Now let's go fire up the arcade. Hey guys, this is Pete and Jonesy, and I thought we would take a look at what goes into opening up the arcade. So last night we had a 60th birthday party. It was one of the longest events we've ever had. It was 8 hours long. These guys were great. They were amazing. Each guest brought their own games. They hung out. They had an amazing time enjoying each other's company and using our space, and that was fantastic. But now we get to kind of reset and go from there. So last night we vacuumed and reset tables and did linens, and we've got guests coming in about 30 minutes, so we're going to turn on some lights and turn on some games, and I'm going to talk about it as I go. This is the Play Choice 10, one of our countertop games. This Disney TV I wanted to talk about. We got a lot of CRT TVs that we use, and to get them to stream content we end up using Chromecast, so that we can push movies to different televisions, and that goes for the console TVs as well. This one's kind of neat. With the console TVs, when they only have one RCA plug-in, we end up setting up a RF modulator to a coax converter to a Chromecast, and so with that we can then push content from our servers. We can push content from the internet if we had to, and we like to put on some shows. What else? So we kind of go down the line and turn on a bunch of stuff. We've got our DS set up here. All of our games are playable. It's not a huge library of games, but it's some pretty cool stuff, including our Retro Game Challenge, which is kind of cool. We had the producer of Game Center CX, the Japanese version of Retro Games Challenge, visit us. Posted a story about that on Facebook a little while back. That was really cool. We're going to be making some fresh popcorn today. There's a whole technique to doing that. I guess I'll show you how that works. I tell my kids when they help out, there's a right way to do this and a wrong way. And the wrong way involves burning your hand, so we don't want to do that. Make sure it's spinning. And usually I'll set a timer for like 8 minutes because that's as long as it takes. And there we go. Going around the circle, we turn on the TVs. I think it's kind of funny. Some of the games that I choose to play, like Super Mario Bros. 3, is strategic. Super Mario Bros. 3 is really popular. People recognize it right away, especially when they see it playing on this vintage television. But as an added bonus, Mario 3 doesn't make any noise. It doesn't have a tracked sound, so that when I'm sitting at the front desk and I'm listening to the games play in the background all day, that's at least one of them that doesn't have to be making any sounds. We've got our retro gaming PC. Plug that guy back in, it fires right up. I've got it built into an old Nintendo cage, but it's one of those, it's probably about the size of a bar of soap, the actual PC. We've added a bunch of fans, external drives, all the wiring, everything is neatly contained within this space. I've also got a 8-bit Dio joystick controller as well as the flight stick. So with those and the keyboard and mouse, you can play quite a few games. It's a really, really, really cool setup. Back in the movie room, we're going to fire up the projector. This is an old Panasonic. That giant lens basically pushes images the size of our wall. We'll turn on some lights, and when guests come a little bit later, we'll fire up in the background. Looks like I missed a spot back here. We've got to do a little more vacuuming before people show up. Turn on some games. Here's a cool one. This is GoldenEye with Mario characters. I saw that online and I thought that was really neat, so when people come in they can really get a kick out of basically watching. It plays as the full 007, except instead you're playing as Mario, and there are Koopa Troopas and stuff as the bad guys that you have to, but it's basically first-person Mario shooter. Then we've got the GameCube, Dreamcast. Yeah, I'll show you this real quick. Nice. Xbox 360. We'll usually have like Portal 2 in here. People really get a kick out of Portal. I think today we're going to do Lego Batman. We don't have the new, I think the new Lego Batman that came out, the open world game, that was only for, well, my son has it on PS5. So I think that's about it for the front room. We'll come back and we'll wipe down some tables later. We'll spot clean the carpet as we go. Now let's go fire up the arcade. So we don't have air conditioning in the arcade, but we do have a lot of fans, and so we'll have this big industrial misting fan that we'll use sometimes just to get the air circulating. Some exhaust fans to get the heat out. But with all the fans going, it's pretty pleasant. Let's fire up the arcade. I've been asked whether we have a big switch, like a big power switch that fires everything up at once. I asked that to our electrician when we were originally setting up the power for the space, and he said no. He said don't do that. He said if everything goes on at the same time, the power spikes across everything at the same time, it's too much for the system. So we just hit all the breakers one at a time to kind of go through them, and you know, it's still a cool effect. Got our rock band set up. We recently had to reattach the drums because people get pretty aggressive, so we have to put up a note that reminds people that, hey, rock band is only a toy. But otherwise, after a while, people beat on them and then the actual rubber will start to come off. So we had to take this all apart, re-glue the drum heads down, make sure that they were springy and they worked right. But now that's restored and ready to go. We've got our cocktail game section. We have a Miss Pac-Man cocktail. That one's out for rent right now, but we've got space for that. That's our red tent. That's another one of our cocktail tables. This is a multi-pack, a 4-game Pac-Man, where we've got Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and then the fast versions. The fast versions are a lot of fun, and honestly, they're a little bit easier for guests to play. We've got about 4 or 5 versions of Rock Band. Beatles, Rock Band 2, Lego Rock Band. So we just kind of leave these out here for folks to swap out what they like. Got the Battle Pod. There's Billy Bob. We're hoping to have a new animatronic added soon. We've got some stuff in the bathroom that we've got to get ready. I keep getting calls from janitorial services companies wanting to come out and give me quotes to help with my business, but frankly, you know, when you run your own arcade, you pretty much do everything from sweeping the floors to fixing the games, and that's just the reality of it. We don't do janitorial services. We've got a cool little app that controls our ceiling lights. These are Twinkly brand lights. We have them set up on a playlist, but during the seasons, We can choose different designs. We've got, kind of Christmas looking lights, stripes. But then when Halloween comes up, there's some cool ones for Halloween that we're going to set up probably the next month or so. We've got some. My favorite is there's a bat signal. This is my favorite. Oh, looks like our popcorn's ready. There's our jack-o'-lantern. The lights really look best from one angle, especially the ones with faces. There's some ghosts, jack-o'-lantern, let's see, skull. Anyway, let's pause there and we'll go take care of that popcorn. It's important not to forget about your popcorn. I think probably the worst thing you can do is have burnt popcorn smell going through the arcade. So we'll leave that off. All right, so now that we've got some of the games on, we're going to go through, make sure they're powered up, make sure there isn't any games with issues. Usually, at least every other day, we'll run into a game that needs to be reset. Usually, it can be just repaired by cycling it on and off again, maybe adjusting some settings for the monitor. Oh, here we go. Someone was being illegal. No food or drink in the arcade. We've got free play buttons on all of the games. Some of the pinball machines have a free play setting. Others we'll add a credit. Looks like a little quarter. So usually throughout the day, even as people are here, I'll kind of come through and reset the pinball machines. I know a lot of arcades have talked about when people play a couple balls and then they walk away. It's not cool, man. Finish your game. We do a lot just to kind of reset console games or pinball machines or even the video games, the arcade games, because no one wants to play a game if someone's pop is sitting in front of a game or it's on pause. So we'll go around as people are playing, and we'll kind of turn them back on and off again so that people feel free to come up and sit. This is our multi-Donkey Kong 2, Jumpman Returns. This was kind of a custom build for us. Custom paint schemes, different artwork with the Donkey Kong 2 art on it. And this one has a secret, and I'll tell you about it because it's kind of fun to have some options. But if you hold down the jump button, you'll jump between, I think we've got 3 different Donkey Kong games on here. Donkey Kong Deranged, Donkey Kong Crazy Barrel Edition, maybe. This is the Donkey Kong 2 version, where the creator had actually gone into the source code and built 3 additional levels using all the original sprites and sound. So it's still Donkey Kong, but it has a modern update to some new levels. So this is kind of our default game that we'll have set up. And the first level isn't too hard once you kind of know the tricks. So if you can kind of dodge these conveyors, and you got to catch the drop right. You kind of get pushed off. Oh, if you fall, then you're dead. Yeah. So then the second level after that is going to be the first level of regular Donkey Kong. Taking a look, making sure everything's working. Got to add credits for our Nintendo Super System. Yeah, some games don't have free play, so we either have those credit buttons or we'll kind of put credits in them for the guests when they arrive. So that's about it for here. I'll put this vacuum away before people come. All right, so that's about it for here. Next step is to put away my personal stuff and wipe down some tables. But before I do, I wanted to share one of the things that we're going to be working on next. I'm very, 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 very excited about this. This is, I'll show you. These are new controllers. Look at these. These are new 8-bit Dio. Basically, these are pro controllers, and we're going to be setting up a 4-player Nintendo Switch. I've got the Switch that I'm configuring right now. We're going to be setting up a new gaming station with a flat screen TV on a cart. We're going to have the Switch set up. We're probably going to have to move some tables around to make some room. But then, folks are going to be able to play 4-player Mario Kart and Mario Party for the Switch, plus all the other really cool Switch games. It's not going to be a Switch 2, because we never do the newest. It's always going to be a little bit retro, so we're going to get that Switch working, and that should be set up within the next couple weeks. So I think that's all for now, right, Jonesy? So, more to come from the 2-Bit Gamer.